Hello, I'm going over the unrepresented purchaser disclosure for you. And the purpose of this disclosure is when you're a listing agent and someone contacts you to see a property and they do not want to be represented by you or anyone else in that matter. They want to be a customer uh, to purchase a property, not a client. They're not going to enter into a buyer's agency agreement with anyone and be obligated to pay a fee. However, they do want to see the property. So this allows you to show the property to them, but you have to fully explain what that means, and so there's no misunderstanding. So it's the purpose of the form. So right off the bat, it's what the very first thing starts with. The purpose of the form is to disclose that you, the buyer, have been advised of the role of the agents listed below. You're going to tour the property, and you've elected to be unrepresented. Simply put in the property address, the purchaser's names, your name, the listing agent, and Key Realty as the brokerage. Then you're going to go over with the buyer what they're agreeing to, and the buyers agree to be unrepresented. It's underlined so they understand that, and it's the seeing of this property. Also, they're representing to you that they're not in a contract, a buyer's agency, a contract with no other realtor, or have seen it with another broker or real estate agent, have some relationship with them. They're representing to you that they have not done that. That is number two. Number three, agents of brokerage listed above solely represent the interest of the sellers. Again, we're making it perfectly clear. Number four, that the buyer's been advised of the benefits of having a realtor represent them. And they've been given the consumer guide and understand the different relationships available to them, but have still chosen to be unrepresented. Number five, it does say that you have a duty to share any information that they share with you. So what this goes on to say is that if the buyer shares any information with you, you're obligated to share that with the seller. So it's making clear to them that if there's information you do not want the seller to know, they shouldn't share that information with you. You have no duty of confidentiality to that customer buyer. But number six, there are things we do that do help a buyer. So first off, you're prohibited from giving any false information. We don't mislead people. We have to be honest to people. B, any material facts or disclosure of something that they wouldn't be able to discover reasonably on their own, we must disclose that to a buyer. C, you're not obligated to, but there is additional information you can provide to a buyer. You can provide information on lenders, inspectors, attorneys. We always recommend attorneys, remember that. Insurance agents to make these process easier, surveyors, draftspeople, architects, schools and shopping, places of worship, anything that would make their information easier for them to move forward on the property. So any market information about the property, those things that would help them make a decision. So let me give you an example, because there are things, and why can you give them information about a great lender? When you think about this, you give them information about a great lender, and maybe they can get a lower interest rate, maybe the amount of down payment that they need, expand the ability of how much they can actually get a loan for. It actually is a win for the seller too, because it would make it easier for, one, the property will actually close, and two, make it easier for them to pay a higher amount. So all these things benefit the buyer in moving forward, which has a direct benefit of benefiting the seller and getting their house sold successfully with as few problems as possible. Number D, you may help them on filling out the purchase agreement. 7, the agents brokers may not, among other things, advise you to the value of the property or offer price. So basically, and I always explain this to buyers, what it says there is I can't tell you what to pay for the property. And quite frankly, you don't want me to anyways, right? But what you can do, so you can advise them what the seller is going to take. You can't advise them to make the amount of the offer to make, right? However, you can provide them with comparables. So one of the things from kind of in C and 7, you can provide comparables to the customer buyer if the comparables support the price that the seller's offering. So you can't provide the CMA that you gave the seller, but you can provide information that would support that list price, and that's that buyer moving forward with that. 8, they have read the disclosure form and they understand this form is agency disclosure and is not a contract. This purchaser then would simply sign there and date it, get a copy of the agreement, and you can move forward and show the property.